You know when you're watching a cartoon and you get this feeling like you're seeing the same amazing disaster play out over and over again? Well, that's pretty much the magic of Mighty Mike. Today, we're gonna pop the hood on all that chaos to find the secret formula, the blueprint that makes this one pug's life so unbelievably entertaining. Let's dive in. And that question, well, that's basically the punchline to almost every single episode. It's what happens after the storm we all know is coming. But how do we get to this beautiful disaster every time? What's the formula? Well, let's break it down, starting with the little guy at the center of it all. Okay, so to crack the code of the chaos, we have to understand the mastermind himself, Mike. And let's be super clear, he's not your average run-of-the-mill pug. This is a dog with the soul of a tiny retired king, and he has a very, very specific plan for how his life should be. Mike's dream is a life of pure luxury. You know, we're talking classical music, lazy afternoons on a fancy velvet cushion, and just being pampered by his owners. All he wants is peace, a little bit of order, and the sophisticated life he totally feels he deserves. And honestly, who can't relate to that? Just wanting a quiet corner of the world to yourself. This right here, this is the dream. It's not about chasing squirrels or fetching sticks. It's about being admired, being pampered. This one simple desire is the engine for all the comedy, because it's a dream that is absolutely 100% destined to be shattered every single time. That gap between his elegant dreams and his chaotic reality, that's where the show lives. So Mike wants peace. And what's the very first thing the universe and the show's formula throws at him? A constant, nonstop parade of unwanted guests who have, shall we say, zero respect for his personal space or his perfectly scheduled nap time. It always starts out pretty small. This time, it's just the neighbor's dog, Duchess. Now, to the humans, she's a guest. But to Mike, she's the first crack in the foundation of his perfect, peaceful day. You can practically hear the record scratch in his head. And then, of course, things escalate. Now he's not just sharing his home. He's actually kicked out of it. Yeah, forced into the yard because of an allergy. I mean, talk about the ultimate insult. His sanctuary is gone, and he's basically been demoted. And just when you think the house can't possibly hold any more animals, bam, a stray. Are you seeing the pattern here? It's just this relentless, never-ending invasion. This is ingredient number one in the chaos formula. Okay, this brings us to what might be the biggest joke of the whole show. See, Mike has a job. He is officially the family's guard dog. And the hilarious central truth of his life is that he is absolutely spectacularly terrible at it. Let's just look at the official definition for a second. A guard dog is supposed to be alert, loyal, and intimidating. It's a protector, right? A first line of defense. Okay, keep that exact image in your mind. Now let's look at our hero. Instead of alert, he's usually napping. Instead of intimidating, come on, he's a pug. His main goal is to avoid intruders, not confront them. This huge gap between the job description and the dog himself, well, that's where all the comedy gold is. And here it is, the knockout blow, and it's delivered by his own family. They say this to him when a stray does a better job protecting the house than he does. It's official confirmation from the top. He's fired. He is, without a doubt, a terrible guard dog. But wait, here's the brilliant, hilarious twist in the formula. After all that chaos, what does his owner say? I've always preferred pugs anyway. At least they sleep all day. Get this, they praise him for the exact thing that makes him awful at his job. He just can't win. It's this perfect, inescapable loop of incompetence. So if dealing with other animals wasn't enough, the formula introduces an even bigger, more modern threat. And this one taps into that anxiety we all feel sometimes about, being replaced by technology. Everybody meet HelpPod. It's a state-of-the-art home security robot, and it's brought in to do the one job Mike is already failing at. This pushes him even further down the totem pole. Now he's not just a bad guard dog, he's a redundant one. And they just say it, right out loud. His job, however badly he did it, is now officially unnecessary. The arrival of HelpPod is pretty much the ultimate insult to his already fragile ego. It's basically a pink slip in robot form. But, since this is a comedy, the perfect technological solution is always a total disaster just waiting to happen. how Pod's programming goes from neutralize intruders to code red, and then to the really terrifying eradication in progress. The robot that was supposed to bring order ends up unleashing a level of chaos that Mike could only dream of. So once we piece all these clues together, the pug who just wants to chill, the constant intruders, his spectacular failure at his one job, and the rogue technology, a really clear, repeatable pattern starts to emerge. I think we've cracked the code. So here it is, the Mighty Mike formula. Step 1, Mike just wants a quiet life. Step 2, an intruder shows up to ruin everything. Step 3, Mike tries to be a guard dog and fails big time. Step 4, that failure leads to absolute house-destroying chaos. And then finally, things kind of reset, but he never, ever gets the real peace he was looking for. You just lather, rinse, and repeat. It's a perfect comedic engine, and it's fueled by his constant, relatable failure. And that kind of brings us to a final thought. The show is called Mighty Mike, right? But he never gets a clean win. He just endures. So maybe his might isn't about winning the battle for the perfect afternoon nap. Maybe it's all about his resilience, his ability to wake up the next day surrounded by the wreckage and just try all over again for that one quiet moment. What do you think?